And here we go with the ASICS GlideRide MAX. Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna start by saying this is probably gonna be one of my favorite shoes of 2024. Oh man, I'm a huge fan of the GlideRide line, but man, this one right here blew me away. Man, it's everything about the shoe. It's everything about the shoe. Oh man, we're gonna jump right into it. So here goes the full review of the ASICS GlideRide MAX, y'all. All right, so first off, we have some laces that are not super duper thick, but they are a little bit stretchy and they are a little bit wider than your typical lace, and they work so beautifully as they lay across the top of the foot. Not a single bit of pinching or pulling or any of that stuff going on right here, where I typically have a little bit of pressure as the laces work with the tongue along the heel collar towards the anterior portion of the foot. Not at all. The eyelet chain spacing is just beautiful. There's like a nice little bit of spacing. There's not this mushing of the material. There was no bunching or scrunching of the upper material for the GlideRide MAX at all. So ASICS totally nailed it with this one here. So let's jump into the tongue. Oh goodness, this tongue is like it's like the Goldilocks tongue, you guys. It is the perfect amount of plush and of skinniness, and it's got a sporty attitude to it. Even the tongue itself has a little bit of a stretch to it. And look at this, we have a nice tongue loop right here, and this actually helped getting the shoe on, especially for me. What I did notice was there was a little bit of collapsing, especially towards the lateral aspect of the tongue as I was putting it on. I get my foot in there, but that's easily resolved. It's not like way down here by the top of the toes where that little scrunching and bunching did occur with the tongue, but that was, again, easily resolved. And it didn't really take that much time as far as getting the shoe on, which, you know, we're all about saving time here. So to having a look inside, you can see the B-roll you have a little 1 inch on each side of gusset material. It's like a thick elastic material. You know, it's almost like that neoprene material. It's not like a, you know, very dedicated rigid elastic, but it is a more smooth material that does have some stretch to it, but again, holds that tongue in place on top of the foot with a nice amount of pressure and distribution, again with the laces here. So I did not do a whole lot of the runner's loop with the shoe. I'll get into the ride and energy here in a second, but once I did, it really did open up the shoe and actually caused it to be a little bit more of a sporty shoe. But you know, again, I think that this is more of a cruiser, and it's not really like a tempo day shoe or like interval shoe. But I will again get into something that I found out later on here in the review. Okay, moving in to the heel collar. Wow. So a lot of structure to the heel collar, a lot of padding to the heel collar. This material, it's not this, you know, very separate tube of foam, but it is very, you know, even and smooth distribution of the angle of the foam down into the area that touches the heels, and it is just plush all around. Everywhere you're touching, anywhere this material is touching your foot, there is just a little extra squish of foam, and it ends right here, and then again kind of becomes nice and sporty here in the front. Okay, have a look at this taper and have a look at the well of like knowledge. The depth of this heel pocket is just, it's massive. I'm holding it up like a trout. Look at that, guys. That is just wow. Amazing. ASICS, wow, good job. I'm very excited about the shoe if you can't tell. So having a look inside, tons of ventilation. This is probably one of the most airy shoes that I've felt, even though it has like a bit of more of a structured feel to it. It's not squishy at all. In fact, the shoe just kind of, you know, it holds its own, it's on its own in terms of the structure, but it doesn't feel like, you know, a cable knit sweater or anything like that. It has a very great feel. Again, you know, Goldilocks material going on. It has a tiny bit of stretch, not a ton, but it's more structured, if anything, there towards the toe box. Big, wide open toe box. Maybe one of the best toe boxes for the ASICS. I mean, fit true to size 11. Coming off of the ASICS Super Blast 2 with that tight toe box, not the case at all. And just thinking about the fit for the midfoot was just really, really nice. And there was, again, a lot of room in the toe box here, and the heel just did not feel super constrictive at all, but it definitely had a lot of, again, confidence and inspiration as far as how it fit on the foot. There wasn't a single bit of heel slippage, and like there was no wiggling back and forth at all. In fact, even as I was coming down and striking on the heel without the runner's loop, you know, if anything, there was just a smidgen of wiggling back and forth, and this is going around corners and really pushing it as far as, you know, asks for the shoe, but it just stayed in place. So the fit for me was brilliant with this shoe. So excellent job, ASICS. But what I did notice, and you know, this is more leaning into that ride and energy return, is whenever I would do any kind of midfoot or forefoot striking, I did find that my foot did want to slide and kind of be in this area, not to a painful degree, but it just didn't feel right. So if anything, I actually use, you know, kind of more the rear mid and then the absolute rear foot of my foot, you know, for a bit of heel striking, and that's when I felt like the shoe really opened up, and it definitely felt good here. And again, worked very well with the laces and the heel. And the heel did get a little bit tighter with the heel lock, with the runner's loop, but it didn't really feel that different without either. So good job, ASICS. And pulling out the insert. Whoa, you know, this to me does not seem like a super special insert. It's very thick and it has a lot of plushness to it, but it doesn't really seem super special. Okay, what's special is the top of the footbed inside. This actually speaks to the FF Blast Max here for the midsole, but it's just on top and it's underneath this insert, and man, it's just got like a nice, you know, squish to it. It sinks down into there. You know, you're not swimming around in quicksand or anything like that. Is, well, if anything, is energetic quicksand. Like, because you go into it and you hang out there and you have all this fun energy that again, I didn't expect out of a glide ride, but man, here it is. All right, getting my hand in here. Yeah, tons of room on your screen. Now you can see my toes, how I was checking things out whenever I was first putting the shoe on, not having a single bit of issue at all. And just the construction, feeling for any sort of walls or wings or anything like that, not really actually. It's maybe very, very minor here towards the lateral aspect of the shoe, but it's not super definitive. You don't have these big old wings, you know, sticking up like the DeLorean on either side. It's just a little bit of subtle sinking in as you work along with the shoe. So excellent job, ASICS. All right, and now moving into the hardened sole of this shoe. It is this midsole. Three things going on. So we have one foam, two foams, and then there's a fun little surprise inside. So on top we have FF Blast Max. This is little thin layer here. Underneath this FF Blast Plus Eco, something you see in the Nova Blast, and inside there's a 3/4 of the way EVA plate, and it doesn't feel like a nylon plate. It certainly does not feel like a carbon plate. It still has a little bit of flexibility, but all this results in this guide sole technology just designed to fully roll. So what I remember from the original Glide Ride is a little bit of a more structured and stiffer heel landing and then rolling through. It's a very definitive way that the shoe wants you to go. I felt that this gives you, the runner, a little bit more control in terms of how you want to land. But once landed, the shoe just kind of takes over and autopilots you forward. Now, I mentioned before the heel strike. So I'm not traditionally a heel striker, but what I have found with this shoe is it absolute genius when it comes to rear foot striking. So even if you are a midfoot traditional striker, and it's even better if you are a rear foot striker, because this shoe is for you. Now, we've had a couple of shoes on the channel. I think about the Mag Max from Puma, but this one right here might even be a little bit better as far as the rear strike. I mean, I'm coming down on my midfoot like I normally do, and it's just like, you know, squeak, squeak, and it's just not really doing it. But man, as soon as I started with the heel striking, y'all, oh my goodness, this shoe, again, like I'm looking at the times and I'm just running, I'll just say it, I was running 8:45, they just kind of like bopping along there, you know, with my midfoot strike. But the moment I started doing some heel striking, man, I'm dropping down into the high 6s, the low 7s. I don't know what the heck was happening. And I really was being very cognizant of just letting my foot cadence stay the same. And I don't know what it is. And so, you know, I don't know if that's an unlock for me. Maybe I've just been dipping a quarter of my paddle in the water this entire time, and I'm not really taking full advantage of my foot. But that's something that I'm gonna have to work on and figure out, because I don't know. Maybe this just unlocked all kinds of stuff. I don't know, but I digress. The rear foot strike for the GlideRide MAX by ASICS is perfect. Oh my gosh, this. I had so much fun in this shoe, if you can't tell. But anyways, so that is what's going on with the foam. You know, 46 in the rear and then 40 in the forefoot for a 6mm drop. That is a nice, decent amount. I mean, so talking about rear foot, if it was like in the 30s or 20s, I'm a 41-year-old guy, so I'm not looking to pound, and I've had plantar fasciitis in the past, so I'm not looking to like kill my heels. But 46 felt super good to me. Like I didn't feel like I was, you know, bottoming it out or anything like that. I'm not the lightest person in the world either, so I feel like this would make sense for a heavier runner, especially again for those rear foot strikers out there. So that is just something to consider for this shoe. All right, let's pop this on the scale, find out how much it weighs. All right, ASICS GlideRide MAX in men's size 11 is 11 ounces. Oh, how convenient is that? 11 ounces. Oh, that's great. Good job, ASICS. All right, moving into the outsole, I got the sun coming over my shoulder. Look at this on a beautiful morning. We have hybrid ASICS grip with AHAR Plus. We have the hybrid grip here, this yellow, and this AHAR Plus in the rear. So whenever I first took this out of the box and looked at this had some definite Nike Invincible vibes as far as the outsole goes. But as far as durability goes, this is way more durable than that Invincible I think will ever be, y'all. I mean, this shoe has such great grip, and I was going through all kinds of different environments, definitely wet environments, coming downhill, landing on the heel, where traditionally I would have been a little bit more nervous. This is such a confidence inspiring grip, and like, look, you've got all this foam here in the center. It really doesn't take much as far as the contact surface for this grip to do its thing. Really pleased with the grip here. It's not a ton at all. It's not this huge amount of rubber that we've had in some of these other shoes here, but it's just the right amount. So excellent job, ASICS, keeping it lightweight, keeping it real, and keeping us glued to the ground with this amazing shoe. With the guide sole technology, I mean, you can see right there, it's not the world's biggest heel bevel at all, but you come along and then the foam does the squishing in for you and then trajects you off. Oh my gosh, wow. So the price of the GlideRide MAX, it's $169.95. Might as well just call that $170. Is it worth it? Yes, it's gonna be worth it, and I would recommend this for a good consideration for your long run shoe. I feel like the durability is there. I feel like the fit is there. I feel like the foam is there. I feel like this shoe is just like the ideal long run shoe, just how it feels. And the guide sole technology, the foam, everything about it. ASICS put a lot of thought into this, so definitely would recommend. And that leads me to, what is this for? This is a long run cruiser. This is something that you could just set it and forget it. It goes into autopilot. I didn't really have to think about the shoe. It's gonna be, again, one of my favorite shoes of the year. Did not expect this to be as great as it is, but there you have it. All right, so that is it. My name is Jason. I am a dad here hanging out on the channel doing shoe reviews. I'm a nurse practitioner in podiatry, and I do let that inform my process as far as shoe reviews go, but it is not a medical channel. It is a fun-filled backyard running channel, you know, and we're just there in the kitchen making pancakes and outside doing shoe reviews, y'all. It's great. go ahead and click like and feel free to subscribe along. I would love to have you guys along for the journey, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful morning. It's kind of getting a little bit breezy out. Catch you in the next one. Bye now.